A pan with a cord could bake a cake, soften the toughest steak, and give a tired cook 45 minutes back. But the most surprising thing it cooked was time. In the 1950s and 1960s, the electric skillet appeared on American counters with a promise that sounded almost too simple. Set the dial, close the lid, let steady heat do the watching. That mattered because dinner was not happening in a vacuum. In 1960, the average American household had about 3.3 people, and roughly 38% of women were already in the labor force. Yet the work of planning, shopping, cooking, serving, and cleaning still fell heavily on women. Families were also spending about 17% of their disposable income on food. So this is not only a countdown of 25 forgotten dinners. It is a countdown of 25 solutions. Some stretched 1 pound of meat. Some rescued leftovers. Some kept the kitchen cool in July. Some turned a weekday supper into something that looked ready for company. And as we move through the list, watch for one repeating pattern. The ingredient is rarely the real hero. The hero is the decision made before the food enters the pan. Slice the tough meat thinner, brown before adding liquid. Save the drippings, lower the heat. Close the lid, let time replace constant effort. Those decisions created meals that felt larger than their cost. The final 5 go even further. They prove that this little appliance was never merely a frying pan. It could imitate an oven, braise like a covered pot, and control hot oil with a steadiness many home cooks struggle to maintain over a flame. Stay to the end, because number 1 explains why controlled heat could turn an affordable bird into the meal people remembered for the rest of their lives. Number 25, corn fritters. A can of creamed corn, an egg, flour, baking powder, and salt could become a plate of crisp golden cakes. Spoonfuls of batter hit hot oil. The edges tightened first. The centers stayed soft and sweet. Some families served them with syrup. Others used tomato gravy. Either way, the electric skillet solved the problem that ruins fried food faster than almost anything else: falling oil temperature. When the pan stays hot, the surface sets quickly instead of drinking in grease. I noticed that this is how many of these meals worked. The technical victory was almost invisible. The emotional result was not. Children heard the sizzle, smelled the corn, and reached for a second fritter before the cook had taken her first. Number 24, fried bologna. This was not a cold sandwich made in defeat. Thick slices were notched around the edge so they stayed flat, then laid across the wide pan until the surface blistered and browned. Add yellow mustard, add soft white bread. Maybe slide a square of American cheese underneath, and let the heat melt the corners. It was cheap, fast, and hot. And that last word mattered. A warm meal says something a package on the counter cannot. It says, "I knew you were coming home." Number 23, Frankfurters and skillet beans. Hot dogs were sliced into coins and browned first. Then came pork and beans, mustard, ketchup, and sometimes brown sugar. The lid went on, the dial turned low. The sauce slowly thickened while the cook folded laundry, checked homework, or handled the next small emergency. This dish reveals the hidden design of one-pan cooking. High heat created flavor at the beginning. Low heat created tenderness at the end. The pan did not remove skill. It allowed skill to be arranged in advance. Number 22, creamed tuna on toast. Butter melted. Flour was stirred into it. Milk followed slowly until the sauce became smooth. Tuna and peas turned that white sauce into supper, and toast gave it a crisp foundation. A white sauce can scorch or separate when heat becomes aggressive. The thermostat made the pan more forgiving. A crying child did not have to mean ruined gravy. A knock at the door did not have to mean burned milk. And a meal built from a can did not have to taste like surrender. Number 21, Spanish rice. Ground beef browned with onion and green pepper. Raw rice, tomatoes, and water went into the same pan. Under the lid, the rice absorbed the seasoned liquid and expanded around the meat. 1 pound of beef no longer looked like 1 pound of beef. It became a full skillet. The clever part was not hiding the meat, it was redesigning the bite. Every spoonful still carried beef, rice, tomato, and pepper together. Economy was built into the structure of the dish. Number 20, porcupine meatballs. Raw rice was mixed directly into ground beef with egg, onion, and seasoning. The mixture was shaped into balls and simmered in tomato sauce. As the rice cooked, the grains expanded and pushed through the surface like tiny quills. Children got a funny name. Parents got more portions from the same amount of meat. But the dish also required patience. Too much heat could break the meatballs apart. Too little moisture could leave the rice hard inside. The covered skillet created the gentle, humid environment the recipe needed. And here is the first thing nobody tells you about the electric skillet. The food was only half the invention, the other half was attention. Smithsonian collections preserve electric skillet recipe books from 1955, and advertising for controlled heat automatic fry pans appeared as early as 1953. Appliance companies understood that they were selling more than metal. They were selling predictability. A gas flame could run hot in one spot and cool in another. A thermostat could cycle the heat around a chosen temperature. It was not perfect, but it reduced the amount of constant watching. I think we often measure kitchen technology by minutes saved. That misses the larger benefit. The skillet lowered the cost of distraction. It let someone begin dinner, close the lid, and become a parent, a worker, a neighbor, or simply a tired human being for a few minutes. It also reduced another kind of work that rarely appears in nostalgic photographs: cleanup. If meat browned, sauce thickened, and starch cooked in the same vessel, there were fewer pots waiting after the table was cleared. That did not erase domestic labor. It made one small part of it more manageable. And we should be careful here. The electric skillet did not liberate every woman, fix unequal expectations, or turn a crowded evening into leisure. Advertising often showed a cheerful homemaker standing beside a shining appliance as though a new cord had solved an old imbalance. It had not. But a tool does not need to solve an entire system to matter inside one difficult hour. Sometimes progress arrives as 15 fewer minutes at the sink. Sometimes it is a sauce that does not scorch while a child needs help. Sometimes it is dinner cooking on the counter without an oven heating the house in July. That is why number 19 begins with leftovers: ham and scalloped potatoes. Sunday's ham could return on Wednesday in a completely different form. Thin potatoes, onion, and small pieces of meat were layered into the skillet. Milk, butter, and flour became a simple sauce. The lid trapped steam until the potatoes softened and the ham seasoned the entire pan. Modern cooking advice often treats leftovers as a storage problem. These cooks treated them as a design problem. They did not ask, "How do I reheat this?" They asked, "What can this become next?" Number 18, corned beef hash. Cold potatoes, onion, and corned beef were chopped together and pressed flat across the pan. Then came the hardest instruction in the recipe. Do not touch it. Move the mixture too soon, and it stays pale and soft. Leave it alone, and moisture escapes. A brown crust forms underneath. Turn it in sections. crack a few eggs over the top, and one pan becomes breakfast or dinner. This is a useful lesson far beyond hash. Sometimes leaving food alone is an active decision. Number 17. American chop suey. Despite the name, the New England dish was not Chinese. It usually combined ground beef, onion, green pepper, tomatoes or tomato soup, and elbow macaroni. The beef browned first, the sauce formed around it. Then the pasta cooked directly in the seasoned liquid. That last step did more than save a pot. The noodles released starch into the sauce while absorbing flavor from the meat and tomatoes. Cleanup became easier, but the food also became more unified. The name, however, records a less comfortable part of food history. Mid-century America often borrowed foreign labels for dishes that had been reshaped almost beyond recognition. We can remember the meal fondly and still be honest about what it was. An American regional dish wearing an imported name. Number 16. Skillet chow mein. Canned bean sprouts, celery, onion, leftover chicken or pork. Soy sauce and cornstarch created a fast brown sauce. Crunchy canned noodles went over the top. To many suburban families, it felt adventurous. But it was not a complete picture of Chinese cooking. It was a supermarket version shaped by advertising and the ingredients widely available at the time. That does not make the memory false, it makes the memory specific. It shows how American families once encountered international food through cans, magazine pages, and simplified recipes designed not to frighten the Tuesday night dinner table. Number 15. Salisbury steak. Ground beef, breadcrumbs, egg, and seasoning were shaped into oval patties. The meat browned, leaving dark bits behind. Flour and broth turned those drippings into gravy. Then the patties returned to the pan and finished under the lid. The oval shape mattered. It transformed loose hamburger into individual steaks. Gravy extended the flavor into mashed potatoes or bread. A modest dinner suddenly looked intentional. Contrary to what we sometimes assume, presentation was never only for wealthy tables. Shape, color, and sauce could give dignity to inexpensive food. Number 14. Smothered pork chops. Thin chops could become dry under harsh heat, so the skillet used two stages. First, flour-coated pork was browned, then the temperature dropped. Onion, milk, broth, or gravy entered the pan. The lid went on, and the crust softened at the edges while the meat cooked gently. The flour performed two jobs. It helped create the brown surface, then helped thicken the liquid. That kind of efficiency appears everywhere in these recipes. The best ingredient was not merely inexpensive, it was useful more than once. Number 13. Sloppy Joes. Ground beef, onion, and green pepper browned across the wide surface. Ketchup, mustard, brown sugar, and Worcestershire sauce created something sweet, sharp, and messy enough to make children lean over their plates. Later, companies sold ready-made versions of that sauce. It would be too simple to say families were fooled. Packaged food saved measuring, planning, and mental effort. Those are real forms of work. But every convenience carries an exchange. You save one kind of labor, and you risk losing one kind of knowledge. The knowledge lost here was not a secret recipe. It was the confidence to look at ordinary ingredients and realize dinner was already present. It only needed a system. Then in 1954, another system arrived. Swanson introduced the frozen TV dinner in a disposable aluminum tray. The Smithsonian describes it as an answer for busy families, especially as more women worked outside the home while still being expected to cook. The TV dinner and the electric skillet were both convenience technologies, but they offered different bargains. The frozen tray said, "Heat what we designed." The skillet said, "Use what you have." One removed nearly every decision. The other removed some watching while leaving the cook in control. Neither choice was morally pure. Some nights, opening a tray may have protected a family's sanity. Frozen food could reduce planning, shopping, measuring, and cleanup. Those benefits were especially real for households carrying paid work and unpaid work at the same time. But convenience does not only change what we eat, it changes what we practice. Stop making a sauce, and eventually the sauce begins to feel complicated. Stop judging heat, and the dial becomes mysterious. Stop redesigning leftovers, and yesterday's food begins to look like waste instead of raw material. This is not an argument for cooking everything from scratch. That can become another impossible standard placed on the same exhausted people. It is an argument for choosing deliberately. Use convenience when it protects your time. Keep a few flexible skills so convenience never becomes your only option. That contrast raises a question that still matters. Does a tool save time by strengthening your ability or by making the ability unnecessary? Number 12. Hamburger stroganoff. Ground beef replaced expensive tender meat. Onion and mushrooms added volume. Cream of mushroom soup formed the base. Sour cream was folded in near the end and warmed gently. Boil sour cream too hard, and the proteins can tighten and separate. The low setting of the skillet made the sauce more forgiving. This was not classical beef stroganoff. It was an adaptation built around supermarket ingredients, household budgets, and the flavor a family actually wanted. Authenticity matters, but it is not the only reason a dish survives. Sometimes a recipe survives because it solves the right problem at the right moment. Number 11. Pepper steak. Round steak could be chewy, so the cook changed how the mouth experienced it. The meat was sliced thinly across the grain, shortening the muscle fibers, then cooked quickly with green pepper and onion. Soy sauce, a little sugar, and cornstarch created a glossy coating. When an ingredient cannot change its shape, its temperature, or its cooking time. That is kitchen intelligence in one sentence. Number 10. Chicken fricassee. This dish took the opposite path. It did not rely on speed, it relied on time. A stewing hen or firmer chicken pieces were browned, then simmered under a lid with onion, carrot, and broth. Long, moist cooking softened the meat. The liquid was thickened into pale gravy and served over biscuits or noodles. But fricassee also performed work that nutrition cannot explain. It was the kind of covered pan carried to a neighbor after illness, childbirth, or loss. The lid kept the food warm. The meal gave people something useful to do when words felt too small. Food becomes culture when it begins carrying messages. Number 9. Liver and onions. Beef liver was inexpensive and nutrient-dense, but it demanded precision. Thin slices were often floured and cooked beside onions until the surface browned. 1 minute too long could change tender liver into something dry, firm, and bitter. Many people who say they hate an ingredient may actually hate the most common mistake made with it. I notice how often a food's reputation is shaped by technique. Vegetables boiled until gray, pork cooked until dry, liver fried until hard. Before deciding that a cheap ingredient is inferior, it is worth asking whether we learned the method it required. Number 8. Cube steak and milk gravy. Cube steak had already been mechanically tenderized. It was coated in seasoned flour and fried until a crust formed. Then the meat came out and milk gravy was built from the drippings. The brown bits at the bottom were not dirt, they were concentrated flavor. Scraping them into the sauce connected the crust on the meat to the gravy on the potatoes. Nothing important was rinsed away. And this is where the old kitchen offers its most modern lesson. Efficiency does not always mean removing steps. Sometimes it means making each step serve the next one. Brown the meat, then use the drippings. Cook the onions, then let their moisture lift the brown bits. Save the leftovers, then redesign them. Use low heat, then let time do work your hands no longer need to do. That is not primitive cooking, it is systems thinking at the scale of a dinner table. But nostalgia needs one correction. Old cooks judged doneness by time, color, sound, and experience. Modern cooks have a better tool, the food thermometer. USDA guidance calls for ground beef to reach 160 degrees Fahrenheit, whole beef and pork cuts to reach at least 145 degrees, followed by a 3-minute rest, and poultry to reach 165. Keeping tradition does not mean freezing every old method in place. The strongest traditions learn. They keep the principle and update the practice. Keep the instinct to brown meat before braising it. Add a thermometer. Keep the habit of using leftovers. Add modern refrigeration guidance and cool them promptly. Keep the patience that tenderizes a tough cut. Let go of the belief that every dish must be cooked exactly as one grandmother cooked it in one kitchen 70 years ago. A tradition that cannot change becomes a museum piece. A tradition that understands why it worked can enter another generation. Now we reach the final 7, the dishes that prove how far one electric skillet could really go. Number 7, city chicken. The name hides the surprise. There is no chicken in it. Cubes of pork, and sometimes veal, were threaded onto short skewers, coated in crumbs, browned, then covered and cooked until tender. The skewers resembled little drumsticks. The dish came from an economy in which chicken was not always the inexpensive, everyday meat people imagine today. Families used pork or veal to create the appearance of something special. In industrial cities around the Great Lakes, especially in families with Central and Eastern European roots, the recipe became a regional memory. People can argue over whether it should contain only pork, a mixture of pork and veal, breadcrumbs, gravy, or no gravy at all. That disagreement is evidence of survival. A dish becomes part of a place when families stop agreeing on the official version and start defending their own. I see city chicken as more than a substitute. It is economic history you can hold by the stick. The strange name remembers changing meat prices, industrial communities, immigrant kitchens, and the desire to make an affordable dinner look festive. Number 6, American goulash. This was not the Hungarian dish of slow-braised beef and paprika. The American skillet version used ground beef, onion, garlic, canned tomatoes, tomato sauce, and elbow macaroni. It overlapped with American chop suey, but regional families gave similar meals different names and different loyalties. The pasta cooked in the sauce, the beef spread through the pan. The leftovers often tasted even better the next day after the noodles absorbed more tomato and seasoning. This was not a dish built to impress strangers. It was built to make a promise to the people already at the table. No matter how tight the week becomes, everyone eats. Number 5, pineapple upside-down cake. Here is where the skillet stopped behaving like a pan. Butter and brown sugar melted across the bottom. Pineapple rings were arranged in the syrup, often with a cherry in each center. Cake batter covered the fruit. The lid closed, the heat stayed low, and the skillet became a small countertop oven. Then came the moment everyone watched. A plate went over the pan. The cake turned. What had been hidden underneath appeared on top. golden fruit, dark caramel, and a pattern that looked far more expensive than the ingredients. A shortcut succeeds when it preserves the reward. This one preserved the reveal. Number 4, skillet lasagna. Traditional lasagna could mean a hot oven and several dishes. The skillet version browned beef, built tomato sauce, tucked broken noodles into the liquid, and layered in cottage cheese or mozzarella. The pasta softened directly in the sauce. Steam melted the cheese under the lid. It was not identical to a carefully layered baked lasagna, but it protected the part people loved most. Meat, tomato, soft noodles, and cheese arriving together in one hot serving. That is the difference between a useful shortcut and a disappointing one. A useful shortcut protects the reason the dish mattered. Number 3, Swiss steak. Round steak was pounded with seasoned flour, browned hard, then covered with onions and tomatoes. The temperature dropped, the lid went on. Time slowly turned a tough cut into something that could be broken with a fork. The tomatoes collapsed, the onions softened, the flour thickened the liquid into gravy. But the transformation began before anyone tasted it. The smell traveled through the house. It told children doing homework that dinner was coming. It told someone opening the front door that the evening had a center. Modern food can deliver calories quickly. Anticipation is harder to package. Number 2, smothered chicken. Chicken pieces were floured and browned in butter or fat. Then broth, milk, onion, or gravy entered the same pan. Under the lid, the chicken softened while the drippings flavored the sauce. Rice, biscuits, or potatoes caught what the meat released. Nothing important escaped. The brown crust became gravy. The gravy became part of the starch. The pan reached the sink with almost no flavor left behind. This was comfort with a smell strong enough to reach the driveway. And it brings us to number 1. Fried chicken. The electric skillet seemed designed for this test. Oil that is too cool creates a heavy, greasy coating. Oil that is too hot darkens the crust before the meat cooks near the bone. A controlled dial made the temperature easier to manage as cold chicken entered the pan. Pieces soaked in buttermilk or seasoned liquid, then disappeared under flour. They entered the oil with a roar. The crust tightened, bubbles raced around the edges. The color moved from pale flour to gold, then toward the deep brown that told an experienced cook it was nearly time. But the dial did not make every decision. The cook still had to leave space between the pieces. Turn them at the right moment, keep the crust from tearing. And today, use a thermometer to confirm the center reaches 165 degrees Fahrenheit. That combination matters. The appliance offered control. The cook supplied judgment. And together, they turned an affordable bird into Sunday dinner, a church picnic centerpiece, a Friday night reward, or the smell a grown child would remember decades later. That is why fried chicken belongs at number 1. Not because it was the most expensive, because it shows the complete bargain of the electric skillet. Technology handled the repetition, a human being handled the meaning. So what should we recover from these 25 dinners? Not the expectation that one exhausted woman should carry the entire household. Not the belief that hardship was beautiful simply because people survived it quietly. And not the fantasy that every old recipe was healthier, safer, or better. What deserves to survive is the confidence behind the pan, the confidence to understand heat instead of fearing it, to see leftovers as the beginning of another meal, to buy an inexpensive ingredient without treating it as an inferior one, to choose tools that return attention without removing judgment, and to remember that convenience has more than one form. Sometimes convenience is a factory finishing the meal for you. Sometimes convenience is a tool that helps you finish it yourself. The electric skillet did not make dinner meaningful, the people using it did. They measured value in portions, clean plates, saved ingredients, and the few quiet minutes returned to the evening. Their meals were not records of a perfect time. They were practical answers created inside imperfect lives. That distinction protects us from empty nostalgia. We do not honor the past by pretending every family was happy, every mother enjoyed the burden, or every dinner arrived without conflict. We honor it by noticing the intelligence that ordinary people used under pressure. They understood that abundance is not always a large quantity. Sometimes abundance is a complete bite. Sometimes it is gravy reaching every potato. Sometimes it is enough heat held steady for long enough that tough meat finally gives way. And maybe that is why they still speak to us. Because every generation eventually faces the same question. When time is short, money is tight, and people still need something from you. What can you make from what you already have? Tell us in the comments which electric skillet meal lived in your family. Was it Swiss steak, fried chicken, city chicken, American goulash, or something no cookbook ever recorded? And while you are there, tell us the one kitchen skill your parents or grandparents knew that you are afraid your generation may lose. Subscribe to the channel because every week we recover another piece of food history before the people who remember it are gone. Then choose one old recipe, cook it safely, change what needs changing, keep what still works. You may discover that the most valuable thing passed down through your family was never the appliance. It was the ability to make enough feel like abundance.